this video. Now, as you can tell by the title, I actually finished Lore, and actually in record time, 5 days with work. Wow, that's actually surprising. Now, yes, I read Lore and I literally finished it 20 minutes ago. I'm trying to figure out my whole sound issues. I hope I fixed them. We'll see. However, I just want to say this one thing. Alexandra Bracken is a literary genius. Like, oh my god. I don't know why it took me so long to even pick up this book. I never even thought I would. It's Alexandra Bracken. She's not really an auto-buy author for me. I don't know why. Like, she should be. It is currently around, it is 3:20 a.m. and I just finished this book, and oh my god, I need to talk about it. I need to talk. Now, I, in my ever-glowing wisdom, decided to record this right now instead of go to sleep, because why would I go to sleep? Now let's go and talk about our list of characters. Actually, no, we're going to actually talk about the Aegon, which is what this book even revolves around. So, if you're still watching this video and haven't read the book, what are you doing? Go read the book. But if you're still going to watch, I'm still going to explain the world. So, yeah. So, this book takes place in New York City, but it uses Greek mythos as its background, and it's so, as its lore, name drop of the book, as its lore, and oh my god. Now, we're going to talk about the Aegon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Aegon is something that was called on by Zeus because a bunch of the gods wanted to overthrow him again for obvious reasons. And he wasn't too happy with that, so he sent hunters that are descendants from her heroes like Heracles and Perseus and Achilles and Cadmos and all of the other Greek heroes, traditional heroes, to hunt the gods, and then they can gain their powers. Now, there is an end to the Aegon, but no one knows it. No one knows how to achieve it, and it's honestly just really, it's just not there for most. So that's basically what you need to know to be able to understand this book, and that's really it. Now, let's talk about our characters. Let's start with Lore, which is short for Melora, and oh my god, I love Lore. She's a badass. She doesn't take shit from nobody. And she's hurting inside, and I can deal with, I can accept that she's hurting. That's all it is. She's hurting because of her choices, her entire family is dead. And she thought Aristos Cadmel, who is Wrath, who is the new god of war, so, yeah, Ares is dead. And so, she thought he ordered the kill, and frankly, he didn't. We learned that it was Athena, and that was a great betrayal to have happened. That was very emotional, if I want to put it that way. But yeah, honestly, Lore is one of the better, like, female characters. Honestly, like, not to harp on the Darkest Minds trilogy. Yeah, trilogy. Not to harken on that, but I didn't really like the female main character in that. Of course, there are a lot of things you see a mile away, which is the whole Lore stealing the Aegis, which was gifted to her family of Perseus, and she's the only living relative. But yeah, Lore's just an all-around better female protagonist. Now, I haven't read The Darkest Legacy, so I don't actually know what happens with that. But you know what? I could find out anytime. I just need to buy the book. I should really brush up on my Darkest Minds, honestly. Next, I want to talk about Castor. Oh, Castor. He is my crush of this book. He is my absolute favorite. He's so caring. He's so not like a god. Like, not at all. And I just, I can't with it. He's so good. He's so. It frustrated me at times with how good he is, and how caring. He's just like, no, you mustn't. You can't do this. I don't want to see you like this. And I'm just like, oh, Castor, I love you, but also, this fucker needs to die. These people need to die. But, you know, of course, he doesn't listen, but he's just there to care, and he had leukemia as a child, and he and Laura were best friends and sparring partners, and I just hope with the ending that came up, and I'm going to mention this more later, that his cancer doesn't come back. I don't want that to come back. Next favorite character in this book, Miles. Miles. He is the best. He is a mortal not known to this world. He doesn't know anything, but he joins along because he likes Lore. He's Lore's best friend. Because she got out of the air, he's known her for, I think, 3 years. And he cares for her. He loves her like a sister. It's honestly so good, so nice, so amazing. He's also funny. A lot of things I laughed at in this book were from Miles. And, well, that and the, and while Lore was having a panic attack, essentially, Castor just told an awful joke to get her to snap out of it. So that was fun. That was genuinely, it genuinely got a laugh out of me. I'm like, well, that is one way you can get someone out of a panic attack. You stump them with an idiotic joke. Miles, great, love him. He's a tattooed boy tattooed gay boy. That's what he is. And I love him. He's funny. He's great. He's caring. Though, honestly, this book is not heavy in romance at all. So it's really just a fun book to read. And you don't get that often, because a lot of books are usually like heavy in your romance department, and I'm like, give me action. And this book gave me action. This book made me want to cry a few times, but it gave me the action and fighting that I love and I want. So fast-paced, so great. I loved it. Every bit of it. Next, let's talk about Evander, Castor's cousin. Yeah, cousin. Falls in love with Miles. That's a good thing. Then I'm conflicted about his character. I personally am not his biggest fan, though he does have a few good moments. He has a few great moments, and I do like that about him. But it's just something about him doesn't click with me. I don't know if that's just me, but Van was hardly there, and he harped on Laura a lot, and she's my precious child, and you can't attack her, so I don't like you. Actually, I like him, but it doesn't click with me like the others do. Now, Gilfrid, the old man Laura had been taking care of for the last 3 years, because yeah, that happened. We learn was Hermes because he felt guilty for giving Athena information on the ages and then essentially letting Athena kill the rest of Laura's family, leaving only her alive. And it honestly, I understood her hate, but he hid her from gods. He helped her. He might have been doing it for selfish reasons, but he helped. He was good in the end. Hermes protecting Laura for that time was really something, and I appreciate it. I love it. I love that little tidbit into Hermes' thing, and yeah. Also, the scene where I think Laura hallucinates being in the underworld, or maybe she is in the underworld, but she drags herself so she can have cell service after she stabs herself, after she finds out about Athena's betrayal. Alright. What was that? Her family was there? I don't want to know what that was, but I also do, and I'm just confused. Sort of, maybe. I think it was her soul being in the underworld, but she dragged her shell forward. Maybe? Now I want to talk about Apollo, and how we find out that Castor can't be killed because Apollo sacrificed himself. He let Castor kill him. Castor, 12-year-old boy, just dying on his deathbed, and Apollo just fucking takes his hand, wraps his hand around his little boy hand, and pushes a dagger in. And that's how we learn this something, that the gods can actually ascend. And that's what Apollo does, and that's what Athena does in the end. Because Athena redeems herself. She sacrifices herself for the greater good. And honestly, it brings my emotions to a full fucking circle. Because I liked her, she was funny, she was great. I just laughed at a lot of things that she said just because of the way she said them. She was funny, she was great, she was just brave, she was badass, you know, all things Athena. And then she betrays, and and I feel angry, I feel hurt, I feel like how Lore felt, and absolutely fucking betrayed. And then she fucking redeemed herself, and I like her, and I'm like, God. Honestly, my emotions have been in a whirlwind in these last, 24 hours since that reveal happened, and I had to go to work with that. But in the end, Athena and Apollo sacrifice themselves so that they can ascend, and when the Aegon's about to end, and Castor and Lore, because Lore had to stab Athena, so Lore had Athena's powers, with how Lore and Castor didn't want their powers. They didn't want to leave their friends. They didn't want to live for eternity. Because, who wants to live for eternity? No one. You would not want to live for eternity. That just hurts you eventually. And you want to take your own life at that point. So they have a difficult time with it since Castor was had an arrow shot through his heart. Crossbow bolt shot through his heart, effectively died, and then came back to life. So that would be a little hard for them. So they essentially asked Zeus to take it away, and he took it away. Now, with that, I hope he didn't take away. I hope he let it be that Castor's body is the way it is, and his cancer doesn't return, because then that would be very sad. Of course, I will never know, because this is a standalone book. It is an amazing standalone book, and it's beautiful, and I love it. That ending was great. The emotion, it's so great. But they give up their powers, and now basically the only Greek gods there are that are with Zeus are Athena and Apollo. Hermes was killed by wrath. Ares was killed a long time ago. Dionysus was killed a long time ago. Poseidon was killed a long time ago. There's no one else to ascend, and all of the newer gods, they ended up getting killed by a god, so nothing happened. So probably went to the underworld. The book was amazing. I loved every bit of it. Lore, I loved the lore. I loved Lore, Castor, Miles, and I'm in love with Athena. Athena. Also, Artemis dies in this, and I feel like Artemis should have had a clearer mind, but I guess Apollo was dead, and so her twin was dead, and it's kind of stated in legends that they together are one soul, so he's half of her soul, and she's half of his soul. So when she loses half her soul, she kind of goes mad with rage, and I get it, but also why? I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And if you are still watching this and you haven't read it, go fucking read it. You need to read this book. Just please do it. Do it now. Go now. And so that's the end of this video. I said everything I wanted to say, and I have nothing more. And just, if anyone wishes to talk further, I will be in the comments section. I will respond. Because this book needs to be talked about. And I get it, Alexandra Bracken is a pretty popular author, so it's likely to get talked about, but still, for my own personal sanity, need it talked about. Now, that's it for this video. Let's see if I can do my outro this time. Still working on that. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a like, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Ring that notification bell, because you never know when I'm going to upload. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye! Wow, one take. That's all it needed. Good, awesome, great. Also, I noticed that my subscribers have now surpassed 50, and thank you, welcome. I hope the channel continues to grow. You share this with your friends, and I will gladly keep making videos. But yeah,